Good day to all of you. Shout out to our new subscribers and thank you very much to those who follow our uploaded videos. I hope your support will continue. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's start. On an early dim morning, an elderly woman rested her hand atop a gravestone. Henry Blackwood, 1938 to 2004. She rested flowers on it and wept, something she didn't usually do. She always made sure to bring something of Henry's when she made her annual visit to his grave. Her memory wasn't what it used to be, and her brain needed help to get it jogged. She brought something he hated, his hearing aids. She remembered wistfully how he never used them, always insisting he had excellent hearing despite keeping the television's volume up so high. Now all she wanted was his return to her loving embrace. Oh, Henry. She fell to her knees and looked to the sky. How I wish you'd come back to me. Up in the sky and through her blurred teary vision she saw a red star. It was faint, but she heard a malignant chuckle and the star flashed to match it. Then it disappeared with the rising sun. She wiped away her tears. Strange, was it a product of her imagination? She stood up and surveyed the area, but saw nothing. It seemed like the moment was merely nothing but old, senile, womanly mood swings. As she smiled at her silly old self, a question came to her that felt like part of a dark realization. Could the battery in the hearing aid still work? She attached it to her best ear and turned it on. She could hear the rustling of crow feathers in a nearby tree. It probably still worked due to her husband's lack of commitment to use it. Then, swallowing hard, she rested her ear on the ground above his grave. Her mouth dropped in horror as she heard scratching, shuffling, and a familiar voice bellowing a horrified scream. I waved goodbye to my friends as I stepped off the bus and headed to my house. I was super excited to get home and see my parents. They hadn't talked much at all yesterday. As a matter of fact, they just stayed in their bedroom all day. They haven't been feeling well. I ran up the stairs of the front porch and swung the front door open with a big, cheesy grin on my face. However, when I opened the door, there was no one in the den. The television was off and the house seemed to be abnormally quiet. I took a step in and started calling out. Mom, Dad, I called. I knew they were supposed to be here. Dad had the day off and Mom didn't have any plans with her girlfriends until next week, right? I placed my backpack on the ground next to the couch and walked into the kitchen to check the calendar. October 5th, I was right. Dad took this day off so him, Mom, and I could go see a movie together. They've got to be here somewhere, I thought myself. Then it hit me. School let out early today because of a busted water pipe. I looked at the watch on my wrist. It's only 12 o'clock. They may still be sleeping. I headed back through the den and slowly opened their bedroom door. Surely enough, there they lie. A sigh of relief escaped my mouth and my grin returned. I tiptoed over to my mom's side of the bed and pulled the covers back. I was greeted with the same sight as the day before. She lay there motionless, eyes glazed over, mouth agate. Her skin was a pale white and her hair was beginning to thin. The soup I gave her yesterday sat on the bedside table. It was stale now and she hadn't even touched it. I'm beginning to think they don't want to feel better. I placed the cover back over her head, grabbed the old soup and left the room, slowly closing the door behind me. I decided not to wake either of them considering they must need their sleep. I'm sure they will be up for it tomorrow. Until then, I have a ton of psychology homework to be done. We're doing this paper on people who have some type of disorder causing them to live in denial of even some of the most obvious things. I couldn't imagine living like that. If you want to share your scary story, just email ytstarvlogshorrorstories@gmail.com.